Is your period late again? Or maybe it just came out of nowhere.
Happens to so many people.
It really does. So let's try and decode what your body might be trying to tell you, before panic completely takes over.
Yeah.
If you've ever felt that little twinge of confusion, or maybe that knot of frustration, even anxiety about your cycle being so unpredictable, please know you are definitely not alone.
Absolutely not. It's incredibly common.
So today, in this deep dive, we're not just going to skim the surface. We want to gently explore some of the reasons why periods can be so irregular sometimes.
And importantly, how you can find a bit more clarity, maybe some confidence, and ultimately peace of mind about it all.
Exactly. So where do we even start unpacking this whole thing?
Well, I think the first thing to realize is that your cycle is, it's so much more than just a monthly event. Think of it as a really sensitive barometer for your overall health.
A barometer. I like that.
Yeah, it reflects your hormones, how you're handling stress, your lifestyle.
Hmm.
It's all interconnected. And when your period goes, off script, that's often your body saying, hey, pay attention.
Okay, so it's like a little signal.
Hmm.
Makes sense. Like a health report card, almost.
Kind of, yeah. And there are some, well, pretty common reasons why that report card might look a bit different sometimes.
Right. Like one we hear about a lot is endometriosis.
Definitely.
Now, we know the uterus has a lining, right? But with endo, it's like similar tissue starts growing outside the uterus,
Yep.
in other places in the pelvis,
Exactly. And that tissue, it still tries to behave like the uterine lining, responding to hormones.
which must cause problems.
It really can. That misplaced tissue can lead to inflammation, pain, and yeah, you can mess with your cycle. You might see irregular bleeding, maybe longer or shorter cycles than usual, sometimes even skipped periods altogether.
Mhm. It's not just the tissue itself being there, but how the body reacts to it, right? With inflammation and stuff that interferes with the hormones.
Precisely. The body's response, the inflammation, the substances released, they can all disrupt that delicate hormonal signaling needed for a regular cycle.
Okay. And then there's another big one, polycystic ovary syndrome, or PCOS.
Right. PCOS. Very common too.
The name sounds a bit scary, many cysts, but they're not really dangerous cysts in the way people might think.
Not usually, no. They're actually small, immature follicles. But the condition itself, PCOS, it affects your hormone levels, often leading to, well, cycle disruptions.
So you might see periods being really delayed or missing them, or bleeding that's just all over the place.
Yeah, or cycle lengths that are just highly variable from month to month.
Hmm.
It comes down to hormonal balance, really.
Okay.
With PCOS, there's often an increase in androgens, sometimes called male hormones, though everyone has them.
Right.
And that shift can interfere with regular ovulation, the release of an egg.
And ovulation dictates the timing of the period.
Exactly. So if ovulation is irregular, your period will likely be irregular too. It's often a direct result of those hormonal shifts.
And it's fascinating how it's not just about the reproductive system itself. Stress. That's a huge factor, isn't it?
Oh, enormous. Both emotional and physical stress.
Yeah, like going through a major life change, or just dealing with constant anxiety, or even being sick, or pushing yourself super hard with exercise.
All of those can impact the communication between your brain and your hormonal system. Your brain essentially tells your ovaries what to do via hormones.
Well, stress messes with that signal.
It can, yeah. When you're stressed, your body pumps out cortisol, the stress hormone. And high cortisol can actually suppress the hormones needed for regular ovulation and menstruation.
It's like your body's prioritizing survival over reproduction in that moment.
That's a great way to put it. It puts ovulation on the back burner temporarily if it senses high stress.
And it doesn't even have to be massive stress, right? Sometimes it's the smaller everyday things.
Absolutely. Lifestyle factors play a big role too. Sudden changes in your diet, for instance.
Or big swings in weight, up or down.
Exactly. Weight fluctuations, travel across time zones, the jet lag effect.
Uh-huh.
Or even just consistently not getting enough sleep. All these things can disrupt your body's internal clock and energy balance.
Which then throws off that hormonal symphony we were talking about.
Precisely. These seemingly small adjustments can nudge the timing and release of those crucial cycle hormones just enough to cause irregularities.
And of course, we should mention there can be other medical things going on sometimes.
Yes, definitely important to acknowledge. Things like thyroid disorders, for example, can impact your cycle.
Or the changes leading up to menopause, perimenopause.
Right, the hormonal shifts during that transition are a very common cause of irregularity. And even certain medications can have an effect.
So with all these potential causes, what's the main takeaway for someone listening right now?
I think the key thing is this. One single irregular period Usually not a huge cause for alarm, it happens. But
But
if you start noticing a pattern of irregularity, if it's happening consistently, that's your body sending a stronger signal. That's when it deserves a closer look.
okay, that makes sense. So we've talked about the why. Now, how do you, listening, know when it's actually time to make that call, to talk to a doctor or healthcare professional?
That's such a crucial point. It's about knowing what falls outside the range of, let's say, normal variation for you.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are some clear signs?
Okay, well, one obvious one is if your periods just stop, like for 3 months or more in a row, and you know for sure you're not pregnant.
Definitely time to check that out. What else?
The length of your cycles. If they're consistently shorter than 21 days, start to start.
Okay.
Or, on the flip side, if they regularly stretch out longer than 35 days, that consistent pattern outside the typical range is worth discussing.
And what about the bleeding itself?
Yeah, the flow matters too.
Mhm.
If you're experiencing extremely heavy bleeding, like soaking through pads or tampons really quickly, say every hour or two, or if your period consistently lasts longer than 7 days, that kind of bleeding pattern warrants a checkup.
And pain. What about severe pain?
Yes, absolutely. Pain that's so bad it actually disrupts your daily life, makes you miss work or school, or you just can't function. That's not something you just have to put up with. It could signal an underlying issue like endometriosis or something else.
Good point. Don't just assume severe pain is normal.
Exactly. And then there are other associated symptoms to watch for. Things that might pop up alongside the cycle changes,
Like what?
like spotting or bleeding between your periods when you wouldn't expect it, or significant weight changes, gain or loss that you can't really explain,
Okay.
or even things like unusual hair growth, maybe on your face or chest, or conversely, hair loss or thinning. These can sometimes point towards hormonal imbalances like PCOS.
So it's about the whole picture, not just the period dates.
Precisely, putting it all together.
And it feels important to say reaching out for help isn't. It's not being dramatic or overreacting, is it?
Not at all. It's actually an act of self-respect, of advocating for your own health. You absolutely have the right to understand what's happening in your body and get the care you need.
Yeah. You deserve answers.
You do. And ultimately, trust your gut. Trust your intuition. If something just feels off to you, even if you can't quite pinpoint it, it's always worth seeking professional advice. Your body's talking to you.
Learning its language is part of the journey.
Absolutely. You are the expert on your own body.
Okay, so someone's listened to all this, maybe feeling a bit overwhelmed, maybe feeling understood. What's like one practical thing they can do today?
Great question. We want to give you something concrete, something manageable you can start right now.
Something simple but powerful.
Exactly. And what's really insightful is how just a little bit of organized information about yourself can start to reveal patterns you might have completely missed otherwise.
So what's the action?
Today, just take a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Think back over your last couple of periods and log the dates and any symptoms you can remember.
Just the last two?
Yeah, start there. It's less daunting. This simple act of tracking starts building a clearer picture of your individual cycle.
And having that info written down gives you a baseline, doesn't it?
It really does. You can start to see, okay, has my cycle length changed? Is the bleeding different? Are these symptoms new or typical for me? It provides context.
So, okay, practically speaking, grab a notebook or use a notes app on your phone.
Whatever works for you.
Yeah.
Just jot down the start date and the end date of your last 2 periods as best you can remember.
Okay, start and end dates. What else?
Try to recall how heavy the bleeding was. You don't need exact measurements, just a general sense. Was it light, moderate, heavy?
Light, moderate, heavy. Got it.
And then any symptoms you remember experiencing around that time. Cramps, obviously, but also mood changes, bloating, fatigue, headaches, anything that stood out.
Just make a quick note of it.
Exactly. This little record becomes incredibly valuable, first, for your own understanding. But second, if you do decide to talk to a healthcare provider.
Ah, you've got the info ready.
Precisely. Having this information organized makes that conversation so much more productive. It helps them understand your experience much faster and more clearly.
That makes total sense. It's about moving forward with clarity, right? Instead of
Yeah.
just feeling confused or scared.
Absolutely. You deserve clarity over fear.
Mm-hmm.
And the more information you gather about your body's rhythms, the more empowered you feel to take care of yourself properly.
Knowledge is power, basically.
It really is in this context.
Mm.
And, this brings up the whole idea of resources and tools that can actually help with this tracking process.
Yeah, because remembering off the top of your head can be tricky.
It can. And that's really where something like March Health comes into the picture. We see it as a kind of supportive partner for your health journey.
So if you're looking for an easier, more organized way to track your cycle, your symptoms, even things like your mood and energy levels.
The March Health app is designed specifically for that. We really built it with people managing conditions like endometriosis and PCOS in mind, but it's helpful for anyone wanting to understand their cycle better.
Okay, so it's tailored.
Yes, it has features designed to help you monitor your health in a way that's relevant to your situation. Inside the app, there's an intuitive cycle tracker, and it learns your patterns over time.
Adapts to you. Nice.
Yeah, and there are detailed symptom tracking tools which can really help you connect the dots like, oh, I always feel fatigued around this time, or my mood dips just before my period starts.
Seeing those connections.
Exactly. And based on the data you log, the app can offer personalized insights to support your daily health choices.
So by using it consistently, you build up this really detailed picture of your health.
You do. It becomes this valuable resource, both for you personally and, again, for any conversations with healthcare providers. It's all there.
So we'd really encourage you, if this sounds helpful, download the March Health app. Take that proactive step towards getting more clarity.
And please remember, you're really not navigating this stuff alone. There is support out there for you.
Yeah. So wrapping up this deep dive, we've hopefully shed some light on why periods can be unpredictable.
And we've seen how even small actions, like starting to track your cycle and symptoms, can actually be incredibly empowering. It gives you back a sense of control and hopefully some peace of mind.
Absolutely. No matter where you are on your health journey, just remember to listen to your body. Those signals are important.
You are strong, you're insightful, and you're totally capable of taking charge of your health, just one step at a time.
And if you found this chat helpful, maybe share it with a friend or someone else who might be wondering about their own cycle.
Good idea. Spread the knowledge.
And as always, you can find more support, more tools, and resources designed with compassion inside the March Health app.
So until next time, please take really good care of yourselves.
Take care.
Oh, and for anyone interested in digging into the science a bit more, the Cleveland Clinic has a helpful article on abnormal menstruation. You can find it on their website. We won't read out the whole URL, but searching Cleveland Clinic abnormal menstruation should get you there.